This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English. This show is Daily Flash, and you have joined us with today's talk and tomorrow's trends. We're going to share and have some fun this hour, so stick around.
Okay, I've got something fun for
Lay
you
it
guys.
on me.
Do you remember McDonald's apple pie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Burning my tongue.
Burning your tongue, but it had that crispy, crunchy outside.
Yeah.
God, it was delicious.
Indeed.
They're bringing it back for
Well, I didn't
America's
even know-
250.
I didn't even know it went away.
Amen.
Yes,
always
it's been off the menu for about 30 years. They said.
Really?
That's
I
what
thought it
that
was always
according.
there.
Yeah,
those
according
things
to
are
the
so good.
right.
Oh, wow.
So June 23rd, it will be making their first U.S. rollout in more than 30 years. So it's been 30 years since they've had it on the menu, and it'll be a limited edition item. So it was first brought up in the 1960s. Tennessee restaurant owner operator Lytton Cochran created the fried apple hand pie.
What I loved about them was the little box that it would
Yes.
come in, because you could eat it that way. Like you can just like a burrito, more
Yeah.
or less. And then after you got back from the emergency room because of your tongue.
She burnt the top of your
The
mouth.
best part about those is that you bring them home, throw them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And they kind of, and that crunch was
crunchy,
still there.
yes.
It wasn't 100% the best, but they had, I bet you that's why they pulled them off, because so many people had to have burned their, I'm telling
You
y'all.
think about the
eat
cup
it
of
right
coffee
away.
lawsuit, right? It's
That's-
got to be the apple pie.
That's
I'm
been about
sure.
30 years, so yeah,
Yeah.
I bet you right around
I
that
bet-
same
I
time,
bet,
they're like,
yeah.
listen, it's not worth it. And it was basically an apple pie deep fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple pie. And I don't know if it was the same deep fry they had for the fries
Fries?
or whatever, but those
It
things
tastes
are
good.
good.
Maybe that's why it
Maybe it
tasted
could be,
so
because
good.
McDonald's has the best fries, hands down, in my
Hands down,
opinion.
yeah.
So somebody needs to invest in the Apple stocks.
Yes.
That apple,
Yeah.
apple
Apple
pie.
not- yeah.
They say the filling will be made with 100% American-grown apples, and it is in celebration of America's
Okay,
250.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's American as an apple
America.
pie.
America.
America.
Yes.
I love
All
it.
right. James is our guy. We love to ask our question of the day, and he's got it for you.
Hey, question of the day: what would you never trade for money? What would you never trade for money?
Well, there's so much, like, well, my kids. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, if the price was right, maybe. I don't know.
And
Well, your health, I guess. I mean, you think about
Oh,
that.
that's a good one.
You got to have that. If you don't have health, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very deep one.
yeah,
'Cause-
you could go in a number of different ways with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you have all the money in the world, you can't get healthy anymore because you just gave away your health.
That's it. Health
That
as well.
is true. You're
No
right.
matter how much you try. All right, that's a deep one. That's
Okay.
going to
I
have
would've-
people thinking longer at the stoplights there,
Yeah,
James.
I would have said my dogs because they're my kids, but
Certainly.
Okay.
yeah,
I would
that
say
was the first
peace.
thing that came to my mind.
For me, it's peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
I'm waiting for the day till you ask, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
What would
Can we
you?
do that?
I
Can
will.
that be a question?
You know
Okay,
what?
you
I'll
got
ask that next.
How about what would you do for a McDonald's apple pie?
There you go.
Ooh.
People getting fights. It's like
Yeah,
it's like the Popeyes chicken sandwiches. People getting fights.
Yes, remember that? Right.
That was nuts. Like, isn't that crazy to think that people are getting in a fight over fried chicken?
Over fried chicken.
Well, America's birthday's coming up. Now I'm all wanting this apple pie.
Me
When is this
too.
supposed
June
to go?
23rd.
Gotta
So
wait.
you've got.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Well, actually, yeah. They're out.
They're out.
now.
They're out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, June 23rd.
I'll see you guys later.
Okay,
Go
all right.
get me an
Make sure you
apple
bring
pie.
enough back for the crew.
I'll try, because I'm going to eat a whole lot.
I'm
Fight
excited about
Club.
that. Yeah.
Folks at home, if you want to join in on our question du jour, by the way, if you're French, that means question of the day. But you already knew that because I said du jour. Anyway, you can go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Click on the top, it can sound off.
He goes to Europe for a couple of weeks
Isn't
and he
that-
comes
isn't
back
that-
and he's
what am I
all
doing?
European.
Yada, yada.
One more quick little anecdote
Sure,
about
sure,
the apple
please.
pie. In 1992, they replaced the fried one with the baked one, and the
Oh.
baked one was not good.
I remember
Oh,
I
that.
do
wow.
too.
I remember,
It
and
was
there
a
was a big
disappoint-
controversy
Yes.
because it was like, no, we want it fried.
Fried.
We don't go to McDonald's for healthy food. We
No.
want our crappy food.
I want my apple pie deep fried.
I want to be treated like crap by the person who takes my order, and I want to eat the nasty food, and I want to say,
Oh wow.
No mention of calories here, but I think
Good.
we'll just, skip over that
Good.
one. Check this out. In New York State, a bill backed by Democrats would replace the words mother and father with gender-neutral parental terms. Okay, get ready for this one. Now, an emergency resolution in a small township has just been filed after state lawmakers want to change mother and father to, get this, gestating parent. It would also change paternity to parentage. Democrats claim the measure is an effort to be more inclusive for the handful of residents who claim to have non-traditional gender identities. It is now awaiting action from New York's governor.
They turn this down. Like, you're that offended. You think, like, this day and age, you have to get these names changed. You know, that has been done, I believe, since the beginning of, time.
Yeah.
You know, we've called just father. Why? I think they want people want to just make a mark. To say that they, it's
Might
like,
be that.
and you know what? You go a little bit further with the understanding. Like, now you're forcing me to think the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
And just as you, and this is how it's been done for so long. It's not everything has to be changed.
Yeah.
I get so frustrated about
It's
that.
sheer lunacy, in my opinion.
You know, for me, I think it's loony. In fact, I want to call a lawyer right now so I can sue.
I
Well,
can sue,
you
'cause you
know
know
what?
you do
My
that.
feelings are hurt all the way here in Florida. I need to file a frivolous lawsuit about my right as a father and filing for the fathers in New York State for them to have the right to be have father on the whatever form that they
Yeah.
were. So it makes no sense. I mean, people, as you said, want to force you to believe what they believe, and it's not. This is
The
not what it
minority
is.
feels like, and listen, I get it. The minority feels like they don't have a voice in certain things, but that's not always the case. You're still represented. It's just that you can't get everything the way that you feel that it should be. A father is still a father, no matter what. And this whole a man. Chromosomes tell the story.
Well, let's go further. Let's put gestating unicorns.
Why
Let's
not?
put it, gestating
why not?
unicorns. If we can do all the other stuff, let's put what I feel like I have a right to put whatever I want on there. Then, since you're doing it, I want to put gestating unicorns.
Something tells me that this.
I would love to see
Yeah, no, me too. You brought up the paperwork issue. So if you do make this change and you make this law official, then can you imagine the amount of paperwork that everything in New York State has to change to accommodate this new
It's a slippery slope.
phraseology?
So that this
right?
minority can make them feel better about it.
For 5 people that might have a problem with the terms mother and father. Another part of me thinks this could be some sort of subversive way that maybe some of our enemies, I know it sounds out there, but maybe China or Russia is like, let's really mix things up and see what crazy things we can get these people to do. And let's stir the pot and get them to change mother and father. And it's
Only in
happening.
America.
I can
Only
tell
in
you this
America.
much, and it's going to sound like I'm going down a religious path here, and I'm not. Is that the one way that you can destroy a country is you break up the family first.
Exactly.
And so now making it like mother and father doesn't really matter. You're going after the integrity of what a family is all about.
Yep.
And that's what you have kids growing up confused, and I understand that things happen in every family, and this is just asinine that they're going to even take the time, and which makes you think, all right, see this?
Yeah.
Something's happening over here. Why do we need to offer this for just the minority of the people, and then putting it to a vote? Maybe they should put it to a vote instead of just passing it along for the governor.
Yeah.
And let's make the majority actually have a choice in this.
They did vote on it. And
So
they
now it's
approved it.
going on
and
too.
now it's going to the governor's desk for her signature. They voted on it.
This is a big veto.
Somebody
I
got paid.
apologize.
Somebody got paid.
No, somebody got paid.
Somebody
I think
got
so
paid.
too. But I think you're onto something when you talk about the family unit, because some people would argue that's been going on for the last 3 decades. There's been this mentality, this culture, this politics that's trying to break up the American family. And the more you can split it and divide it, the more divisive the country becomes.
Biologically, there are 2 sexes.
There will always
Yeah,
be.
and
You
they're all-
always represent the intersex people, but they're biologically.
Until they find a new chromosome, right?
That's it.
Yes.
Because that's until that point. And I understand, and that allows. I would hope that that minority would understand. Hey, we'll understand. We can appreciate what you feel and how you think. But give us some respect to allow us to give you that respect back.
Right.
And they think, no, I am offended because it says mother and father. And I was like, well, that's how it was, and it's always been. You can't change the molecules of air because you don't like the way, you know what I'm saying? But you can do
Right.
something about it. Is that what it is? Is that what you're thinking? Is that the change? It's not going to happen. And, and then to have this argument, it sounds like you're going after and it's not.
No.
We're going after common sense, man.
I think that's the fight, though. Everybody says, they take offense to everything, but it's just like, this is what it is. This is not change. If you go to the hospital and they have to treat only women, you're gonna say, I feel like this. No, you're a woman, so you're gonna be treated as such. You can't keep moving the carrot, so to speak.
And I would hope the governor of New York thinks about this. Just think about what is going to be the next thing, because you allowed this, you set precedents because of this, and honestly, I think it's big paperwork is behind it, because like you said, you're going to have to change everything.
How much money that's going to cost to change all that? Somebody's getting paid behind
And
the
you know
scenes.
what? I love my dad. I'm always going to call him my father.
As you should.
And my mother, I love my. I'm not going to call gestating what.
Gestating unicorn.
All right, here's our question. What U.S. president was a licensed bartender? We'll have that answer coming up next.
Crazy.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Before we went to break, we asked you the question, our Brain Flash question of the day. Which U.S. president was a licensed bartender? Wasn't Sam Malone, he wasn't one. But guess what? Old Abe Lincoln, actually a licensed bartender indeed.
A tall drink of water.
Or something. Honest Abe, he's behind the bar slinging shots, and that's it.
It is time for Healthy Living with Obi, and we are so excited to have our celebrity fitness and nutrition expert, Obadike, with us in studio today.
Well, here. I'm so excited to be here, finally in person.
We love having you in here, and a very important topic today because it's very at the forefront of people. They want to get that information, and we're going to talk about health and wellness myths, and hopefully maybe even clear up some misconceptions that are circulating on social media. Right. First off, how has social media actually made it difficult for health information to get out that maybe is true or maybe it's a false claim? How important is it for us to differentiate between those?
Well, I think that it's difficult because what happens is that when a health and fitness enthusiast is trying to look for information, they will gravitate to the person who has the most followers. And they assume that person is an expert. That's an influencer. That doesn't mean you're an expert. Doesn't mean you have any educational credentials or any fitness nutrition certifications, or if you've even really transformed anyone. You're just someone who's just sharing your experiences of you exercising and eating right, but it may not be even really based off of science, you know what I mean? It might be just based off of anecdotal evidence, your personal experience. And so what happens is that the everyday average person is having a difficult time finding out between an influencer, knowing the difference between an influencer and an expert. And what I would say is education credentials, certifications, different body types that you've transformed, because that is more credible evidence of you as an expert.
And how AI is making it actually even more difficult to figure that out as well.
It makes it very difficult because when you type in AI, people don't realize, and you type in your question, a health and fitness nutrition question, and it comes up with an answer. If someone is optimized SEO-wise, their information they posted on social media will be the first thing on AI. So when someone posts something as a question, they see the answer, and the answer is some influencer on Instagram, so that's the source. That is not a legitimate source. Absolutely. PubMed is a source. CDC is a source, all right? The World Health Organization is a source, not social media and influencers. So influencers, let's just keep it real. They are very, very influential in this era right now. But at the same time, it's dangerous because we don't have any guardrails, right? Guardrails meaning to be able to, you are educated enough to be able to put out information to be able to make people make positive change, and it's not going to hurt them. Anybody can.
Yeah, and it's all about packaging too. It might look pretty on the outside, but you don't know what's going on the inside. And on that AI comment too, it also depends on which AI version you're using.
That's a good point.
You're going to get a million different responses. Let's talk about movement.
Yes.
It's a given that walking after a meal is good, but we're seeing all over social media that calf raises or jumping for a few minutes can actually help metabolize your system.
What's fascinating with that is that, yes, when you eat a meal, your blood sugar levels definitely spike up. Typically the first, I would say, 60 to 90 minutes. And there is this thing about doing calf raises will help to lower your blood sugar levels and stuff like that, lower the blood sugar spikes. And anytime you're contracting your muscles, your legs, that will do that. But there was a study that was published in PubMed in 2011, and it showed that when someone ate a meal, and if they immediately started to walk, their blood sugar levels immediately dropped. And the blood sugar consumption is actually being used is actually happening while you're walking. So your blood sugar levels moderate because you're walking immediately right after eating a meal. So basically what that means is that if you immediately walk after you eat a meal, your blood sugar levels are gonna basically, they're gonna drop, and they're gonna moderate. They're not gonna increase. It's like, as soon as you eat a meal, it goes boom. As soon as you start walking, it's limited.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of goes. What I think a lot about is our caveman times. You know, they didn't just lay around. They went to go and for the next continuing on. That's what we have to keep in mind with all those things.
Right.
And you know, as far as having any kind of movement, I would imagine just some kind of movement is better than none. But what would you recommend? Brisk walk? What would you say?
I would just say just a brisk walk. I mean, just a 5 to 10 minute walk is absolutely amazing, especially right after you eat. And it's funny because I wasn't even aware of that until I started doing research on that. That, like, you know, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, you might want to wait until 30, 45 minutes before the food digests or whatever. But I didn't know that if you immediately walk after doing a recent study based off what I saw in PubMed, that your blood sugar levels immediately starts to drop. You know, so walking 100%, you're never going to go wrong with that.
All right.
Awesome, Obi. Thank you so much.
Indeed.
So great to have you in
Thank you
studio.
for having me.
He's the influencer you can listen to,
Yes.
all right? He's got the credentials. If you want for more information, we have it, of course. Here it is up on your screen. And of course, we'll have this link and so much more on our website.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson!
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Hold on, wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
Matty of Berkshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat! It's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the music.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online.
For generations, mankind has depended on one sacred device, the home television, a portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity. What do you binge this weekend?
Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend. Because life's too short for bad TV. Streaming for the Weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Streaming for the weekend.
Parents are holding back straight A students, mostly boys, in 8th grade for a holdback year to allow them to grow bigger and stronger ahead of high school sports recruitment. Now, the goal is to gain a competitive edge for college scholarships and lucrative NIL, name, image, likeness endorsement deals, potentially worth millions. Families are paying tens of thousands of dollars for private sports academies where repeating a grade includes athletic training alongside academics, with examples like a California entrepreneur spending 20 grand so his son could develop further in baseball. So holding back their kids a year so they can develop more as athletes.
Okay, so I have 2 sons that have the exact same birthday, and it's right before school starts, so they were like kind of like the older ones.
Okay.
And so you know, you think about this academically, or you know, maybe taking sports out of it, like, you know, there is something about the older kid in class or
Yes.
whatever, and then also just growing up as well. And Liza with Enzo, who's 15 years old. She and I agree. We kind of wish maybe we'd have let them wait 1 more year to start kindergarten.
Really? Why?
And then they would be the older. They would be about the same age or so, you know, as everybody else. But Brooker, he's now almost 30, but he was a very mature kid. So it is what it is. I think kids are going to learn. That's just how they picked up.
Yeah.
But you always had that one kid that was kind of a little bit
Always.
older than everybody else
Yeah.
in class and that sort of thing. So. But now putting in if you're doing it because you want your kid to be an athlete,
Yeah.
I think maybe you're putting priorities in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where the parents are coming from, because they're thinking, well, if I hold my kid back a year, it gives him another chance to grow a little bit bigger, and stronger. So when they're going into high school, they become a better prospect for college. Right. So really by the time they get to college, they're closer to 19, 20, 21. And that way they're set in prime for maybe the NFL. And I'm just using football as an example. But I just also wonder, like, the psychology behind holding kids back.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether that's a pro or a con. In your case, I could understand that having that maturity can be beneficial.
And we're talking, and I guess as you were explaining that, it might be a little two different things. But you are talking, first off, by the time that they're in 8th grade, they've already started their education, that sort of thing. But psychologically, I never failed a grade or whatever, but I wonder what I would be like, I failed the 6th grade or whatever. Like, what did that to my self-esteem or that sort of thing? Or should it be my decision? Hey, you know what? Okay, yeah, I do want to stay back. Or I don't feel, but you don't know when you're in 8th grade or 6th grade. And so it goes upon the parents to be able to do that. I think, what is the norm? I don't know. I guess, but if you're saying, I want my kid to be a pro athlete, keep in mind the percentage of what kids
minuscule
hair. You know, you're not going to. The chance for you to ever make it in the NFL is so small. And if that's all you're concentrating on, maybe priorities might not be the best one.
I mean, I can
What happens
see,
if the kid gets hurt?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, so you've held him back a year, and then what happens if he gets hurt along the way? Then your prospect, then your chances are, you know, kind of up in smoke. But I guess their argument is if we give them a chance to grow a little bit more, they'll be stronger, and maybe they'll be less prone to injuries because of that.
I can buy that. I think the kid is still going to be who he is. But it sounds. I'm taking this as, these are people that are just, my boy's going to be playing ball no matter what. And what if the kid doesn't really want to?
That's the other good question. Like, so you're holding them back a grade, and they've grown up with these kids. Let's just say, for instance, they've been in the same grade with the same kids for all their life. And I think there is something to be said for that. Like, I don't know whether the kid would see it as a badge of honor to be held back because they want to become a pro athlete, or whether they'll feel like they're missing out on something because they're not graduating with the friends they grew up with.
Does it matter to colleges if you failed a grade too? You know, like, I guess that early on, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting accepted into a university, do they look back at that, or I guess that's why we're saying 8th grade, because really going into 9th grade, I think, you know, is high school, so that's when they start to look at, maybe that might not be the case. I'm just kind of throwing all of it into one big mix. But as I'm sitting here talking to you, it seems like this has to be a case-by-case scenario, because there are kids that are mature and can understand what they're doing and maybe want to. You know what I do? I want to play pro ball, or I want to go into college and play football or whatever, or baseball or whatever. But you do have to realize, are you stunting them in their growth, and is that going to give them psychologically the feeling that, well, if I can just stop doing what I'm doing and just do it over again? You know what I'm saying? There is something about achieving a grade instead of holding back.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the money factor that's involved in this whole NIL, name, image, likeness stuff. When you're talking about 18, 19-year-olds getting $20 million contracts, I mean, thank God I didn't have $20 million when I was
heard
19
that with my deaf ear.
or 20.
You're right. And then also you think the percentage of those kids, again, it's just like the NFL. It's very, very
Very little. Yeah. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Mitch English here.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander.
SBJ, Sweet Baby James.
Yes. You're watching this on 219 stations across the country and across the globe on American Forces Network. But if you want to find out where we are in your neck of the woods, you go to dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch. Our local friends today come from San Diego.
Yes.
San Diego.
KTCZ TV. KTCZ TV. Now, San Diego, one of us had a lot of time in San Diego.
Yes,
Oh, no,
right.
both of you guys.
Well, I didn't have a lot of time. But
Had a lot of time. All right.
Yeah.
So did you know that San Diego is the site where California began?
Yes.
In 1769,
Junipero Serra.
yes, there we go. Established the
Gotcha.
first California mission, Mission San Diego de Alcala.
Alcala.
Alcala. And the Spanish built the first Presidio.
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 It is hard.
They've got one of those at Balboa Park.
Balboa Park.
Making it the original settlement that sparked the state's colonization.
It's and really the most beautiful weather you will ever get. Here's the problem though: when you get hired in a job there, they always say, you know, that you get paid in sunshine.
Yeah,
God,
same thing here in Florida.
Well, you get humidity here. There, I'm telling you. And when I moved away, it snowed the day I left.
Did it really?
San Diego.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
But it's such a gorgeous, beautiful place. And
You still have earthquakes out there, though.
Oh yeah, yep, earthquakes.
I didn't experience. You know where I experienced most earthquakes was when I lived in Oklahoma.
Really?
They would have earthquakes all the time there. It was very interesting. And you know what? Florida had one a couple weeks ago.
Just a couple weeks ago.
Because of that earthquake.
Didn't feel it. Slept like a baby.
Here we are. I remember back in 1976, the Spirit of 76.
Yes,
do you remember this?
I do.
They had a big campaign to keep America clean, and they had trash bags everywhere, and it was the 200th anniversary.
Bicentennial.
It was the
Was it Crying
bicentennial.
Indian? Was that
That was a little bit before.
Part of it, but
they wanted, keep
the
America
ramp up,
beautiful
too.
was the whole campaign behind it.
okay.
I still remember all that. I was, a really small kid. But here we are now at 250 years old in the United States.
Wow.
They're opening up some time capsules that had come through, coming up on July 4th. But they're also going to bury and create some new time capsules as well that is expected to be opened up on July 4th, 2276, 2276.
Oh, wow.
So for the next 200 years, right? 250 years. So they're putting this capsule together, and what they want to do is obviously represent what America is today. And so what they're wanting is all U.S. territories, all the states, and even like Puerto Rico, as well as the Virgin Islands and that sort of thing, to be represented. So in 250 years, they open it up. Hey, this is where it was. So they do have some requirements of what they want to put in it. First off, no food, because food would go bad after 250 years. Leather items, they're banning it as well.
Disintegrate, maybe?
I'm thinking maybe they. I know that with the absence of moisture, sometimes they tighten up. Shrinkage. We know a little bit about that. Maybe by that year they'll fix and cure shrinkage, right, James? Anything that could damage the other things that they put in there, like knives or anything that kind of might explode or whatever. So what they are going to put in. An iPhone 17.
Oh, very good.
Really?
No word if they're going to put a charging cable in there too. What's this thing?
I think we'll need that in a few
What
minutes.
is this piece of crap? They're going to put some Native American artwork, which I love. I think that's great because that really, if you think about America, Native Americans, this is their land. They're also going to allow some student essays to go in, and they're going to throw in a Coca-Cola bottle. I want to know, what do you think should go in there? What's your ideas?
Oh gosh, a box set of a television show.
Good call. I love that. James?
Some sort of recording of people. Like I think of influential people.
Like speeches and such?
Yeah.
Some sort of recording.
Let's go to the control room. You guys got some ideas. Hugo, tell me, take a shot. What are they wanting to do?
The boo-boo. The
Okay.
boo-boo doll, okay.
All right. What else? A gun. See, I don't. That
weaponry. I don't know if they're going
to. They don't need that in the
knives.
future.
If that represents 2026,
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
Some people play music while others push the boundaries of musical innovation to create new sounds that shape our entire lives. Today on The Scene with Doreen, I sit down with Grammy Award-winning record producer and engineer Robert Margouleff. You may know him from the classic period of Stevie Wonder all the way to the innovation of Devo. He has a new book out. I can't wait to dig in. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to some very talented people that have come into my life and sort of given me a whole new scope of music. And their names are Bob and Malcolm, the Tonto Monsters. Give them a big round of applause.
Before winning a Grammy and creating groundbreaking electronic sounds with Tonto, you were just a young boy in Great Neck, New York, with a love of music. You were the baby of the family, and piano, more specifically, classical piano, was a very, very important part of your family.
My older sister, who is still alive, she's 94, a master's in keyboard from Juilliard, is a concert pianist level piano player. And when I was a little boy, 3 and 4 and 5 years old, I had my dinky toys under the Steinway in our piano room. And I would listen to her practice day in and day out. Piano music is really what inspired me originally as a little boy, and I've lived with it all my life.
Okay, 1968, you make history and create the massive analog synthesizer Tonto with your partner Malcolm Cecil. Nothing like it existed in the world. And it opened this massive musical collaboration with Stevie Wonder.
On Memorial Day weekend in 1972, Stevie Wonder appeared and said, "What is this? I want to check it out." And we took him. It was quiet. It was a weekend. There's no traffic. It was very warm and hot. The windows were open in Malcolm's apartment, which was next door to the studio. And we could look down and we saw Steve standing there with his friend Ronnie Blanco, who brought him over. And we went down in the studio and we put his hands all over the equipment because being unsighted, he wanted to get a sort of a picture in his mind's eye.
He thought it was broken, right? He didn't understand it at first, right?
Yeah, he said that something's wrong. I'm trying to play some chords. Malcolm says, "You got to understand something." And he said, "The synthesizer is like a saxophone or a trumpet or a wind instrument. You only get to play one note at a time. Yeah. And you use with a saxophone, you can make it soulful and everything else just by how you play it and how you give it attitude. And the same thing is true of the synthesizer." And once Steve got that, we were off to the races.
You turn the page and begin working with the new wave band Devo. That wasn't a fake whip noise. A lot of people think that was a synth noise, but you guys had to create that sound for real.
We had this long hallway outside the record plant, Studio A, and we went out there and Howard Siegel, who was my engineering partner, was running up and down the hall with condenser microphones, and we were trying to get the whip snap. And of course, I was the producer, so I had to be a big clown and get out there and try it. And I snapped myself in the face.
Visit robertmargouleff.com. Get the new book, Shaping Sounds, Stevie Wonder, Devo, The Synth Revolution, and My Life Behind the Music. Out now via Jawbone Press. And just stay connected to everything that is the musical maestro, Robert Margouleff. Robert has shaped the sounds that continue to shape our lives. And if you want to hear more of our wonderful conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time. And if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. For almost 90 years, Child Fund International has been helping children grow up healthy, educated, and above all, safe. Their new PSA invites viewers to see firsthand how Child Fund changes lives. Here's more.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, the breakfast she didn't have, the rain that hasn't fallen in months, the danger around the next bend, her little brother's belly laugh, her mother's hug, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. All the reasons life is both so hard and so beautiful. It all connects, but so do we. For children's sakes, we connect through action, through everything we do. Together, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And we won't stop.
Summer is upon us, and lifestyle editor Joanne Butler joins us with the scoop on all the musts for the season. Whether it's hosting a game day bash or a backyard barbecue, or just a simple summer essential. Hi, Joanne. So where do we start?
Well, let's start with these amazing shipped kits. These are curated, themed essentials, all bundled together for you depending on what you need. They have limited time soccer-inspired kits, a barbecue kit with all the grilling essentials, a sandwich station kit with all toppings and fixings. You just click to add the bundles to your cart. You'll get same-day delivery. Right now, a special half off their annual membership through July 5th, just $49. It's regularly $99. Plus deals like buy one, get one, 35% off ice cream, 10% off summer travel essentials. And through the 4th of July, if you spend $45, you'll save $15. SHIPT, or the Shipt app. Definitely check it out. Next up, V8 Energy Zero Sugar Energy Drinks, a must for summer. This is a new line from V8. Super delicious, refreshing. It gives you a boost with 80 milligrams of caffeine from black and green tea. So bold energy, zero sugar, just 5 calories per can. And they come in cherry lime and strawberry lemonade, blueberry, raspberry, and the citrusy yuzu lemon limited edition summer flavor. Yum. Potassium and magnesium electrolytes included. And you can find them at retailers nationwide. Give them a follow at V8 Energy on Insta and TikTok. Now, every soccer fan has their World Cup ritual, and for many that means not washing their lucky jersey until the tournament is over. Well, we won't dare mess with that superstition, but your watch party, fair game. Think about everything you and your guests are actually touching. Pillow covers they're leaning on, throw blankets they're wrapped in. Well, this is Downy Intense Pureza, a fabric softener scent with deep, fresh, bold, fruity, super intense scent, literally in the name. So wherever you and your guests are watching from, your space will just smell and feel amazing, no matter how intense the game gets. I love this. It's under $4, $3.97 to be exact, and you can find it pretty much anywhere. Now, last but not least, something to help you outsmart bugs so you can spend more time with your guests. Zevo. This is the flying insect trap. Fits seamlessly anywhere in your home. You just plug it in, let it do all the work. It lures, catches, and kills 99.9% of trapped bugs, houseflies, fruit flies, gnats with this blue and UV light 24/7, day and night. Get it at stores like Amazon, Target, Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot. Starter kit is just $19.99. And there you have it, summer essentials.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be sure to post this information on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
You know, while most partners feel confident about their finances, communication gaps, well, they remain. Joining us now with insights and practical tips is Chandler Riggs, Vice President Financial Consultant at Fidelity Investments.
Most couples do feel good about their financial partnership, but nearly half say they're avoiding money conversations to prevent conflict. If you think about it, money's emotional. It's tied to how people raised, how they think about success, and sometimes even guilt or insecurity, especially if one person earns or contributes less. Then there's also the practical issue. Many couples never build the habit, and they want to talk about these long-term goals, but it never quite happens. Early on, many couples don't have visibility into each other's finances, which can make starting these conversations feel a bit harder. The key takeaway here is that confidence and communication aren't the same thing. But when couples start talking more openly, they tend to feel more aligned and prepared for the future. For more information, you can visit fidelity.com/couples to explore tools, resources, and tips specifically designed for families. Fidelity also offers educational content and guidance to help people have more productive financial conversations and plan for the future.
Up next, Taylor Walker joins us with the scoop on the hottest back-to-school fashions for less from Old Navy. So Taylor, what are we seeing as the musts for back-to-school fashion? What is the vibe?
Well, as you mentioned, Old Navy definitely has the hottest back-to-school fashion and, of course, the best trendy and quality pieces that your kids will want to wear for an incredible price. And for those first day of school vibes, it's all about denim, which is obviously a great item to have in your wardrobe to transition from summer into fall. They have everything you could think of, from that it denim fit, the high-rise straight leg, to low-rise flare, baggy, and of course cargo styles. Everything is going to be very fashionable, but super comfy because we're all about comfortable this season. Also, there's going to be a lot of fleece. You know the 90s are back, and here it is. There's also the PJ-inspired trend. It's alive and well, so think baggy fleece pants paired with tanks, tees, graphics, and hoodies. Again, everything's gonna be fashionable but comfy.
Anything else we should know?
Lots of activewear. A lot of our kids live in activewear, and this is true performance gear. I actually think that is something that Old Navy does really, really well. And there's tons of options from their bounced, studio smooth, power soft, and dynamic fleece styles. Old Navy is really a one-stop shop for all things performance. And there's also these fabulous knits and sweaters for fall. These are the perfect items to round out your back-to-school looks. They have fun graphics on tees, and skirts, I have to be honest with you, are so back for the school year.
What are the price points here?
You're gonna love this one. Everything here is priced from $9.99, and Old Navy actually has something called an oops-proof 1-year guarantee for all back-to-school kids' clothes, which as a parent, I think is incredible.
Where do we shop and go for more info?
You can shop in-store or online at oldnavy.com.
It's not news. It's not nonsense. It's that weird place in between. Opinion-ish. Coming soon.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Before we leave you, we like to take a moment to celebrate the people, the stories, the simple acts of kindness that remind us what's good in the world. And here is this week's Tell Me Something Good.
Yeah, check this out, Jax. This is such a great story. A chance encounter on a New York City subway train has actually turned into a friendship that's really inspiring people from all over the world. 27-year-old Molly Silent was riding home when she decided to take her AirPods out and strike up a conversation with an 81-year-old woman, her name Maria Alvarez. Well, the two quickly connected while talking about family, travel, and life. Maria shared that she had always been afraid to fly, a fear that kept her from returning to Puerto Rico, where she was born and where many of her relatives still live. That's when Molly made a promise. If Maria ever decided to go back, she would go with her.
Oh, I love this. Well, most people would have forgotten about a conversation with a stranger on a train, but not these two. Get this, they started meeting for regular dinners and built a friendship that continued to grow. This isn't just a vacation, it's a full-on memory-making mission. Celine has already bought scrapbooks so every special moment can be preserved. Their itinerary features a cooking class, salsa lessons, and even a trip to the rainforest. And in a move that takes the story to another level, she's also trying to track down some of Maria's long-lost relatives in Puerto Rico. So what started as a simple chat became a meaningful part of both of their lives.
This is not only a great reminder, but a great story that sometimes most important people in the world are the ones we just haven't met yet. Just one subway ride, one conversation, and one act of kindness changed 2 lives for the better.
Now that is telling you something good.
Love that story. We appreciate you. You're something good that we appreciate, and we have a website for you, dailyflashshow.com. You can go there anytime and sound off. We'd love to hear from you.
And you know what you could do? Search our question of the day, and that's a great way to strike up a conversation with somebody.
Look at Jackson.
And you never know what may
I love that.
Transpire.
Can we take a quick shot at the control room? We got a birthday in the house. It is our director, Keegan. There he is. Turned 15 years old. We're proud of you. Hey, your mom's here to pick you up, okay? So we better quit end the show. Bye, everybody. Keegan's mom's here.